All right, so today we're going back in time a little bit to 1953
Oh, wow. Okay.
with Manly P. Hall's 10 Basic Rules for Better Living.
Okay.
This isn't like your typical self-help list article. It's from 1953. This is some classic wisdom.
Yeah.
And you requested this deep dive, so you're obviously looking for some timeless wisdom.
Right.
So let's see if we can dig up some gold here.
Yeah. It's interesting how relevant Hall's work still is even today.
Yeah.
He was really onto something with his emphasis on character development and,
Right.
finding that inner peace.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he knew that we'd be dealing with the same anxieties and searching for meaning in this world that's, constantly trying to pull us in a million different directions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into his first rule.
Okay.
Stop worrying.
Okay.
I have to admit, this one hits close to home for me.
Uh-huh.
Is he saying that we should just, bury our heads in the sand and pretend that everything's okay?
No, not at all. He acknowledges that there are real problems in life.
Yeah.
What he's really cautioning against is that chronic worry that paralyzes us and prevents us from, taking action.
Right.
He even calls it a cardinal sin.
Wow.
Because it, chips away at our mental and physical health.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's not about ignoring problems. It's more about tackling them head on.
Right.
Instead of letting them just fester in our minds.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hall believes that worry is really a misuse of imagination. It's a form of mental self-sabotage.
Oh.
Yeah. And instead of dwelling on what might go wrong, he encourages us to focus our energy on finding solutions and taking those constructive steps.
Yeah, it's like that saying, worrying is like paying interest on a debt you may never owe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It drains our energy, steals our joy without actually, solving anything.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to rule number 2.
Okay.
Let go of trying to control others.
All right.
I think we've all been guilty of this at some point.
Yeah.
Especially with loved ones. We think we know what's best for them.
Right. Yeah, it's a natural impulse wanting to, protect and guide those we care about.
Yeah.
But Hall believes that true possession lies in self-possession.
Okay.
When we're secure in ourselves and at peace with who we are, we don't need to control others to feel validated.
So instead of trying to micromanage everybody's lives, we should focus on our own personal growth.
Yeah.
And let that positive energy kind of ripple outward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hall argues that when we try to dominate others, we create resistance and conflict.
Yeah.
But when we respect their autonomy and allow them to make their own choices, we foster healthier, more harmonious relationships.
So it's about leading by example and not by force.
Precisely. It's about inspiring others through our own actions and choices, rather than, trying to impose our will upon them.
All right. Rule number 3.
Okay.
Moderate ambition. In a world that's, obsessed with hustle culture and crushing it.
Yeah.
This one feels a bit counterintuitive. Is Hall suggesting that we should just settle for mediocrity?
Not at all.
Okay.
He believes in striving for excellence.
Okay.
But he cautions against unchecked ambition. The kind that consumes us.
Right.
Makes us lose sight of what truly matters.
It's like that insurance executive in the video who couldn't even enjoy a simple piece of art.
Yeah.
Because his mind was always racing, calculating risks.
Yeah, he was so focused on climbing that corporate ladder that he missed out on the beauty and the richness of life.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a perfect illustration of Hall's point. He encourages us to find a balance between pursuing our goals and nurturing, the other important aspects of our lives.
Yeah.
Our relationships, our health, personal growth.
Exactly.
But it's about defining success on our own terms.
Right.
Not letting society dictate what we should value or strive for.
It's about creating a life that's rich and experiences meaningful connections.
Right.
And continuous self-improvement, not just a fat bank account.
I love that idea of a rich life.
Yeah.
It's a much more holistic and fulfilling way to view success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hall emphasizes that true happiness comes from within. From living in alignment with our values and making choices that nurture our souls, not just our egos.
Okay, so on to rule number 4.
Right.
Don't hoard and enrich.
Okay.
This sounds like a call for simplicity and generosity. Is Hall advocating for a life of poverty?
Not necessarily. It's not about depriving ourselves, but about shifting our focus from material possessions to those inner riches.
Okay.
One of the sources we looked at used this analogy of being the richest person in the graveyard.
Oh, man. I can just imagine those ghosts rattling their chains, wondering what good all that money did them. That's a pretty stark reminder we can't take it with us when we go.
You can't take it with you.
Yeah.
Hall's point is that accumulating more than we need can really distort our perspective, make us lose sight of what truly matters.
So it's not about living a life of poverty,
right?
But about prioritizing, experiences, relationships, personal growth over material wealth.
Exactly. Understanding that true abundance comes from the richness of our inner lives, the quality of our relationships, and the contributions we make to the world.
All right, let's delve into rule number 5.
Okay.
Learn to relax.
All right.
In our always-on, hyper-connected world.
Yeah.
This feels like a radical act of rebellion.
You're not alone in feeling that way.
Okay.
It's interesting how Hall recognized the importance of relaxation. Long before burnout became a buzzword.
Right.
He understood that constantly pushing ourselves without giving our minds and bodies a chance to rest and recharge is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. So how do we break free from the tyranny of our to-do lists and learn to actually relax?
Right.
Does he offer any tips?
He does.
Okay.
He suggests cultivating hobbies and avocational interests as a way to balance our responsibilities and promote well-being.
That's something I can get behind, a little guilt-free indulgence.
Right.
In something we genuinely enjoy.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe those hobbies could turn into future careers or sources of income.
Exactly. It's about finding those activities that allow us to de-stress, recharge, and tap into different parts of ourselves.
Okay, this brings us to rule number 6.
All right.
Cultivate a sense of humor.
Okay.
I love that he includes this as a key ingredient for a better life. It seems like we're constantly bombarded with bad news and negativity these days.
Right.
A good laugh feels more essential than ever.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Hall believed that a genuine sense of humor is a powerful antidote to the stresses and challenges of life. It allows us to, take a step back, see things from a different perspective, find the lightness even in difficult situations.
So it's about not taking ourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
Remembering that life is meant to be enjoyed.
Precisely.
Okay.
And he emphasizes that true humor is kind and gentle, not cynical or mean-spirited.
Right.
It's about finding the absurdity in everyday life.
Right.
Laughing at ourselves.
Yeah.
Not letting things get us down.
Like adding a sprinkle of joy to every experience.
Oh, perfect analogy.
No matter how challenging.
Yeah. It's about, finding the humor that makes life more palatable. Helps us navigate challenges with grace and resilience.
All right. On to rule number 7.
Okay.
Find a reason for your own existence.
All right.
This sounds pretty deep.
It is deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does say that unless you believe in something bigger than yourself, you are only existing, not living.
Wow. That's powerful. I think it speaks to the heart of what this deep dive is all about.
Yeah.
Seeking a more fulfilling and purposeful life.
Exactly. One of the sources even quotes Hall saying, the laws of nature that put you here seem to be primarily concerned with growth.
Okay.
And he suggests that we're successful to the degree that we grow.
So it's about constantly striving to become better versions of ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that growth can come in many forms. Expanding our knowledge, developing new skills, contributing to our community, or simply becoming more compassionate and understanding individuals.
Okay. I think we've covered a lot of ground already.
Yeah, we have.
Maybe we can take a quick tour through the remaining rules.
Sounds good.
Before we run out of time.
Let's see what other gems we can uncover. Okay, so rule number 8 is a pretty simple one.
Okay.
But it's also very profound.
Okay.
Never intentionally harm any other person.
Okay, that sounds pretty straightforward.
It does.
But I mean, in practice, it can be challenging.
Right.
We all make mistakes. Sometimes we hurt people. Even unintentionally, is Hall saying we need to be like perfect saints?
No, not at all.
Okay.
He acknowledges that we're all human. We're all prone to flaws. What he's really emphasizing is the importance of intentionality.
Okay.
Are we consciously choosing to act in ways that benefit others? Or at least do no harm?
Right.
Or are we just carelessly letting our actions and words create, these ripples of negativity?
Right. Yeah. It's about cultivating that mindset of kindness and compassion.
Exactly.
Not just in our actions, but even in our thoughts and words.
He even suggests that, harboring negative thoughts and intentions towards others can be just as harmful as outward actions.
Wow.
It's about recognizing our interconnectedness, understanding that our energy, whether it's positive or negative, impacts those around us.
That's a powerful reminder to be mindful of our inner world as well as our outer actions. Okay, so on to rule number 9.
All right.
Beware of anger. This one feels particularly relevant today.
Yeah.
When it seems like everybody's so quick to outrage and anger is like celebrated as a sign of passion.
Yeah, it's true. Anger can be a powerful emotion. And sometimes it can even be a catalyst for positive change.
Right.
But Hall cautions against letting it control us.
Okay.
He sees anger as a loss of self-control, a destructive force that can damage relationships and hinder personal growth.
He says, why should we spend our time trying to recover from our own mistakes?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a reminder that anger often leads us to make, impulsive decisions that we later regret.
Exactly. It's about, recognizing that while anger is a natural human emotion, we have a choice in how we respond to it.
Right.
We can let it consume us.
Right.
Dictate our actions, or we can find, healthier ways to process our frustrations, communicate our needs.
So it's not about suppressing anger altogether.
Right.
It's about channeling it in a constructive way.
Exactly. It's about finding that delicate balance between expressing our emotions authentically and doing so in a way that doesn't harm ourselves or others.
Okay. And finally, rule number 10.
Right.
Never blame others for our own mistakes.
Ooh. That's a tough one.
Yeah, this one can be tough.
It can be.
It's so much easier to just point fingers and make excuses when things go wrong than to actually take ownership of our actions.
It's a natural human tendency to want to deflect blame, protect our egos.
Right.
But Hall emphasizes that blaming others keeps us stuck in a victim mentality.
Okay.
Prevents us from learning and growing.
He argues that we're often in trouble not because of external circumstances, but because we haven't fully utilized our own abilities and resources.
Exactly. He believes that we have more power and agency than we realize. When we take responsibility for our choices and our actions, we empower ourselves to create change and shape our own destinies.
Yeah, I love that reframing. From feeling powerless to feeling empowered. From blaming others to taking ownership.
It's about recognizing that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond to those events, what we choose to learn from them.
This ties in beautifully with rule number 7,
It does.
Find a reason for your own existence. It's about understanding that we have a purpose, a unique contribution to make to the world, that our challenges and mistakes are all part of that journey of growth.
Absolutely.
And self-discovery.
It's about embracing the totality of our experiences, the good and the bad, and using them as fuel for personal growth.
So as we're wrapping up our exploration of Hall's 10 basic rules for better living, I'm struck by the wisdom and insight that he packed into this seemingly simple list. It's amazing how these principles written over 70 years ago still feel so relevant.
I know, it's amazing.
And applicable to our lives today.
It's a testament to the enduring power of self-reflection, personal growth, and the pursuit of a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
Right.
These are timeless themes that resonate across generations.
And I think that's what makes this deep dive so valuable for our listeners. It's not just about learning some interesting facts or historical trivia. It's about gaining practical wisdom. That we can apply to our own lives.
Right here, right now.
Yeah, right here, right now. It's about taking these timeless principles and using them to navigate the complexities of modern life.
To build stronger relationships, to cultivate greater inner peace. And ultimately create a world that's a little bit kinder, more compassionate, more fulfilling for ourselves and for others.
Okay, before we go, I want to pose a final question to our listeners.
Okay.
Something to really ponder as they continue on their own journeys of self-discovery and personal growth. So if Manly P. Hall were sitting here with us today, what do you think he would say is the biggest obstacle to living a better life in the 21st century?
That's a really good question. I think he might point to the constant distractions and just the overwhelming amount of information we're bombarded with every day, you know? It's harder than ever to cultivate inner peace and focus on what truly matters when we're constantly being pulled in a million different directions.
It's like we're all living in this state of perpetual FOMO, fear of missing out. We're so busy scrolling, liking, consuming that we forget to just pause, reflect, connect with our own inner wisdom.
I think he might also point to the pressure to conform, to fit into a certain mold, achieve a certain level of success as defined by society. Not by ourselves.
Not by ourselves.
Right.
So it's about finding the courage to define success on our own terms.
Exactly.
Create a life that feels authentic and meaningful to us, even if it doesn't fit that conventional narrative.
Yeah, it's about, reclaiming our agency, our power to choose what we value and how we want to live our lives.
I think Hall would also emphasize the importance of cultivating that sense of community and connection.
Yeah.
In a world that can feel increasingly isolating.
Right.
And individualistic, it's easy to get caught up in our own little bubbles. Forget that we're all interconnected.
Yeah.
Our actions and choices have a ripple effect on those around us.
Absolutely. I agree. I think he'd remind us that, true happiness and fulfillment come not just from, individual achievement, but also from contributing to something larger than ourselves, fostering those meaningful relationships, creating a world that's, a little bit brighter, more compassionate.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Manly P. Hall's 10 basic rules for better living, I want to leave our listeners with one final challenge.
Right.
Which of these rules resonates most deeply with you right now? Which one, if you truly embraced it, could have the biggest positive impact on your life?
Yeah.
Take a moment to reflect on that. And then even more importantly, take action.
Yes.
Choose one small step you can take today.
Right.
To start living that rule. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just a small shift in perspective.
Right.
Or behavior that will move you closer to the life you want to create.
Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Even small changes made consistently over time can have a profound impact on our well-being, our overall happiness.
That's it for our deep dive today. We hope this exploration of Hall's wisdom has sparked some new insights, inspired you to embark on your own journey of personal growth and transformation.
Absolutely.
And remember, we're always here for another deep dive.
Yes.
Whenever you're ready to explore new ideas. Uncover hidden gems of knowledge. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep living those 10 rules.